Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Thank you very much for watching.
Hello, Jim Howard here, and today's date, it's March 12th of 2022. Computer, what time is it?
The time is 10:38 p.m.
10:38 p.m.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Let's see, I'm down to one computer. I'm using my Windows 11 computer, the B-Link. And so I just have that here on this desk.
I don't have an answer for that.
Computer volume 1. I just have that. This is the only computer I have hooked up. I thought I would devote some time to one project. I'm using OBS. Let's see. I'm using a Adver Media 4K microphone. It's on a tripod that's sitting on the desk here. If you hear that rattling, that's my potato chips because I've been having dip and chip. Let's see. I can bring this in a little bit. This is a nice tripod stand, and it does something that others, quite a few do. There's one leg that is supposed to be able to snap in or something, and the others snap in, and this one doesn't. So I think I saw something on Amazon where they were selling maybe this one or one like it, and they actually showed, I should have paid attention, they actually showed how to set that thing. So let's go down here a little bit. Okay. So this is sort of experimental here. As you can see, I just downloaded OBS. I deleted it and having a few problems with it, so I deleted it and installed it over again. I think I still have the same problem. And I'm sure it's just me, you know. Let's see here. This Kiev situation, Russia situation, it's looking bad and getting worse all the time. You've got the Secretary of Defense for Russia, or whatever his position is, saying that ships bringing in supplies that are going into the Ukraine, our ships or other ships, NATO ships, that are bringing in supplies, they're going to consider that Russia is going to consider them targets. This is not getting any better. Apparently, our ships and aircraft are bringing things into Poland and maybe some other places. And Poland, I guess, border, it butts up on part of the Ukraine that the Russians have not gotten control of that part of the Ukraine, I guess. And so it seems to me that the United States and NATO should be able to bring in supplies to Poland, if that's the country. And since Poland has a border with the Ukraine, seems to me like we should be able to bring in weapons so that the Ukraine can protect itself. Now, I guess we'd have to be very careful that, U.S. forces don't cross into Ukraine. But if we bring in supplies to, say, Poland, and if the Ukrainians can just walk across the border a few feet and take those weapons back, it seems to me that if Russia is, if Russia attacks Poland or attacks a ship or an aircraft going to Poland, even though it has arms, this could get very bad. Putin, I don't know, has he gone mental? But I saw something on the news today, somebody who was in a position, people who were in position to know, apparently Trump, I guess, asked, well, I don't think he's smart enough to ask anything. I mean, Trump is not. But anyway, that Putin indicated that he would not, that he years, 5 years ago or something, or maybe before that, longer than, I guess. The story is that Putin agreed he would not attack the Ukraine, not because he was scared of an idiot like Trump, but that he wanted to make sure that Trump won the election, and then he wanted to make sure during the 4 years that Trump was the president that Putin didn't do anything about the Ukraine as long as Trump, was in office, and because he wanted to make sure that Trump would be reelected, and that he could do what he wanted to do, because Trump is indebted to Russia for large amounts of money. And if you remember that picture where Trump had a meeting with Putin, and Trump made sure that there was no record of it. I mean, we knew that there was a meeting. We saw Trump coming out of the meeting. Trump didn't look well, But Trump made sure that whatever was talked about, that there was no record of it. Although it wouldn't surprise me if there's not, that some agency doesn't have record, of it. But the situation is looking scary. Sort of like the Cuban Missile Crisis, maybe in a way. And when I was in high school, I didn't I didn't do any schoolwork. I took the books home every day. I don't know why. For 4 years, I never opened them. But I was in civil defense, ground observer corps, all types of things. And that was back when duck and cover. Although our school never did that. I guess public schools did. But some people built fallout shelters. And of course, I don't have the money to do it, but I've always been kind of interested in, the nuclear missile silos and places like that were, built and not needed now, and you can actually purchase them. And I've kind of thought that would be pretty neat. But on the other hand, I don't think it would be, because you'd have to have a lot of money. There'd be flooding in there. There would be materials that were dangerous. I'm not talking about nuclear weapons, but I'm talking about, all types of chemicals and stuff that, what they filled up the rockets with or stuff like that. There would be, if you got a place like that, you'd have to spend a ton of money to get it where you wanted to live in it. But I thought it's been neat, and I saw some, I'm an amateur radio operator, so I saw some places that were not missile silos, but they were used for communications, picking up signals and sending signals. And, that would be pretty neat, I think. I bought, back when I was in high school, I think it was the I'm probably wrong in this number, R45 pops in my mind. And it was a radio that went into military aircraft. And it was, way long. And it did automatic tuning, mechanical type tuning, Now we have, where you can scan, do all that kind of stuff. You don't need a thing grinding away, turning a dial, And then too, when I was, growing up, and I listened to, the military channels on the radio, Sky King, with codes and stuff. And then I lived in Missouri, so there were the rockets launchers there, and on my scanner I could pick up a little bit of communications from the people who were underground there. I mean, they didn't give any nuclear codes or anything like that, but it was, I can't remember what it was. It would probably be like, the relief crew is parking in the parking lot now, and they went to the door and stuff like that. But I was, in fact, I'm not sure, I was actually trained by the state of Missouri Civil Defense to be a radiological monitor. The idea being that not just me, but there was others in this. It was done at UMKC, 1 day though, training is all. It was for civil defense, and when the nuclear war came, then we would be the people who went out with a Geiger counter to see if it's how much radiation and if it was safe, when the rest of the people could leave and stuff like that. Okay, I guess that's enough of this. This is sort of a test. I do a lot of tests because I change things. if, you know, if I had the money, I would get whatever. I'm not sure. Well, now after playing a little bit with a Apple laptop, I think I'd still go with. I think I'd go with Windows or some type of Android device or something. But if I wouldn't be messing with things all the time if I had the whatever it is I would need, then I would just leave it alone and just use it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I am worried about this. By the way, I was for years and years a welder. They've got these small now, make welders, you know, things. If I lived someplace differently, and I don't know now because of my arthritis and that kind of stuff, but I would like to have, you know. I used to stick weld and meg weld and whatever. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Here it is. I was looking for the stop recording.